But yeah, as you can see, she looks like she's in death curl, doesn't she? Maple plushie, limited edition, almost gone, so go order one if you want one. I often get asked, what is my one piece of advice for people who are new in the hobby? My answer most of the time is quality over quantity. And what I mean by that is that you don't need 4 Aphonopelma samani. You don't need 6 curly hairs. You don't need it. You don't need it. Save the space for other species that you probably are going to discover and want to keep. Having said all of that, I am a hypocrite. I am a guilty hypocrite. Unless you consider this quality and quantity, I don't know, it's a little excessive. I will tell you firsthand, it's a little excessive, but yes, there are some tarantulas I have multiples in. Now, when I say multiples, I can think of a couple species I have a couple of. I think I have 2 Asamani, I have 2 pumpkin patches, I have 2 Aphonopelma calcotes, I have 2 Pamphobeteus species Machallas. Yeah, it happens. It totally happens, but there are a couple species I have way more than 2 of. And that's what we're going to talk about today. There's 2 species that I'm not going to say hoarding, because I'm not hoarding. That's actually a real disorder and you shouldn't use that word to describe somebody that's collecting things. I have feelings on that. These are 2 species that I have a lot of, and I have my reasonings, and I also would do this with a couple other species. I just haven't had the opportunity to collect them in excess. Now, where did you go? She was just out, but she's gonna hide because obviously I'm filming and they know. So this is Bella, and she is my smallest Grammostola pulchra, and I actually have 5 Grammostola pulchra. Here's her enclosure. It's just a medium coffin crib, and I'm using it terrestrially. I did a whole video setting this one up. Absolutely love this enclosure. I don't know if Bella is a boy or a girl. I decided Bella was a gender neutral name anyway, because Bella Lugosi or Bella Swan, Team Edward. Okay, I don't know where she went. So Bella is one of the slings that I've raised up, and she's actually gotten quite large. I was looking forward to showing you guys how much she's grown, but good news is that I have 4 more Grammostola pulchra that I can show you, and we're going from smallest to biggest. So next in line is going to be Shadow. You guys are familiar with Shadow, I'm sure. Shadow is actually one of my more chill Grammostola pulchras. He actually usually lets me hold him, and I might try. He's like, I don't like the touch. I don't like your hands. I know. Shadow I have actually had for quite a long time. Shadow was a sling when I got him, so he was small. This is actually the size that Salem was when I first got him about 6 years ago. So you guys will see Salem in a little bit. And he probably isn't gonna eat right away because I just handled him, but we'll throw a couple crickets in there. Okay, let's talk about his girlfriend Elvira here. So Elvira I acquired a couple years ago for Christmas. She was my Christmas present to myself. And I don't know what her deal is, but she thinks she's arboreal most of the time. Lovely. Let's give her another. Look at her. I think that Elvira is a little bit more skittish than Shadow. Let's move on to one of my favorite tarantulas in my entire collection, which is Salem. And I'm happy to report that Salem is actually out. He wasn't earlier, but as soon as I moved his enclosure, I don't know, maybe he knows he's gonna get offered a cricket or something. He decided to become arboreal as well. Here he is. Oh. But yeah, Salem has been doing great. He hasn't molted or anything. He's not mature yet. And he will be the boyfriend of Helena. Miss Helena back there, she is a beast. She is one of my pride and joys out of every tarantula I have. This enclosure is so perfect for her. I'm so happy we upgraded her from that Exoterra because like she has so much more space and she uses it. She does stay in here a lot. As you can see, she has webbed up her cork quite well. And even like right here, look at that webbing she did. Really, really cool. The moss isn't as green and pretty as it used to be, but that's okay. She is the moment. She is the G Pulchra. Oh. And she's a big girl, so we give her more than one. Ooh, let's get those teeth. They're so big. Oh! I guess one got away for a second. The other species that I have many of is the Campestratus. So the Campestratus, or the pink zebra beauty, is another species of tarantula that I really wanted when I was a beginner that I just had the hardest time finding. Eventually I did find a mature female. I named her Mew. I was absolutely in love with her, and then she passed away of impaction, which was one of the biggest bummers ever in my tarantula keeping history. After that happened, I had the hardest time finding the species again, but my friend ended up buying me 4 slings. Mew 4, Mew 3, this one's Mew 2, and here is Mew 5. Let's see. Is anybody gonna come out? Probably not. Everybody's hiding. I wish I could show you how much they've grown. Maybe somebody will come out, but as you can see, they've really done some amazing construction on these enclosures. I'm gonna go ahead and give them each some water. Where does your water bowl go? I don't even know where the water dish went on this one. We'll just miss this one. Now these guys have actually grown a lot. They're known to be very slow growers, and I mean I've had them for quite a while, but here we go. I can show you guys. This one is pretty obviously down here. Check that out. We have adult coloration on the slings now. It is really special when you have raised them from like the size of your pinky nail and finally they start showing adult colors, and like all of them are still alive. I didn't have a single loss. The species is really hardy. They're very chill typically. They will usually let you hold them. They'll tolerate a little bit of handling. Oh. Yeah, now we have 2 crickets in our mouth. But yeah, I mean, seriously, this tarantula was literally the size of my pinky nail. And it's crazy because they're like a solid 2.5 inches now. That takes work, my friends. That does take work. So it is nice when it pays off, you know? Oh! Now do not fret because I do have an adult female. She is hiding right now, but I do think that I can get at least a good shot of her. But of course this is Evie. We did this enclosure not too long ago, if you guys remember, and it's been working out so good. I love this switch enclosure for her. And dump out this water and give her some new water. So this is the switch enclosure, and that means I can actually turn this around and spy on her. So she actually does sit outside of her burrow every night. I know you guys probably remember her because she had very crooked legs. She came to me with like some molting issues from a previous owner. Now she does walk a little funny and she does stand a little funny. She actually stands like she's in death curl a lot, but she's not. That's just how her legs are. Look at that. Vicious. Oh Oh yeah, she's really, yeah. Now, I think it looks kind of like extra crazy because she just has a little bit of an issue getting a good grip because of the way her legs are. But she eats great. I mean, as you can see, she takes it just fine. Give her one more. Oh, that one got away. But yeah, as you can see, she looks like she's in death curl, doesn't she? She does that to me all the time, but she's literally not. She's always drinking. She's always eating. She will come out, but she just sits like this, and I think it's because her legs are just kind of not 100%, but it doesn't stop her at all, and I'm hoping that within the next molt or two they will be 100%. So yeah, that's all the tarantulas that I have like a lot of species of. There are a few I have multiple species of, but these ones, yeah, it's pretty excessive to have 5 Grammostola pulchra. It's pretty excessive to have 5E Campestratus, but I have my reasons. I don't plan on getting rid of any of them. You know, I have them all for a reason. I enjoy them all a lot. These are all some of my absolute favorite tarantulas in my collection. Like I said, quality over quantity is like probably what you should go for. But if there's some quality and quantity that ends up happening, it ends up happening. Try to save room for species you haven't kept that you want to try keeping, especially if you're new and you're not familiar with like all the species out there in the hobby right now. But if you have a Grammostola pulchra sling and then an adult female comes available at some point and you really want that adult female, I would go for it. I would grab it. Like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not, and you want to be. Don't forget I'm on Instagram, use probably way too much. It's at Tarantula.kat. You can go follow me there. I also have a Patreon, website, merch, plushies, everything. It's linked down below, and I will see you guys soon. Let's get into the Patreon pet pics.